Hey everybody, Matthew here with MEB Pod, first official episode. So, if I have any listeners out there or followers on both my Instagrams at MEB Golf on Instagram or at Matthew, MATTHEW __ Brennan, BRENNAN, you have noticed that I've been posting some content about my podcast. Well, here it is. I am looking forward to continue doing this for at least release an episode every Tuesday night. It'll be, I don't know exact time now, it will be out by Tuesday at midnight. So if you'd like to tune in tomorrow, it will be, or today I guess it will be it will be released Tuesday, October 15th. You can listen in. So I have kind of somewhat tested all my equipment. Microphone, I believe, is working. Hopefully this turns out okay. The Rode and my receiver's working. I got the light in the background working. I got a beautiful little backdrop here of Amen Corner. I'm ready to rock and roll here, I think. So with that being said, I know if I do have, like I said, if I have some listeners or followers out there, you've noticed that I have started recently a little golf Instagram that is going to kind of document my tour of the United States to play a round of golf in every state. It's going to be, and it's not, I don't have a timeline on when I'm going to finish it or not, but I would like to do that. I've been able to play in 4 of the 50 states so far. It will be 6 next week. Because I am going to be traveling back home to Missouri, and I'm going to play over at Illinois as well. With that being said, I'm going to get more into detail on that later. I'll talk a little more golf. But for now, let's try to get this show started, and hopefully it's successful. You know, I don't plan on this one being perfect. I don't plan on any of them being perfect for that matter. But you know, you can't do it if you don't try. You know, you can't be perfect if you don't try it. But anyways, let's try to get out with the show. Like I said in the last podcast, the last pilot episode, I want to try to do some type of complaint, some type of, you know, I've heard from other podcasters, they do their rose and the thorn, which is the good and the bad, or they do their MVP or their least valuable thing, most valuable and least valuable thing of the week, or whatever it might be. Now, since I am kind of having a little focus on golf, I'm going to do the hole-in-one of the week and the double bogey. So with that being said, I'm going to kind of start mine off with that, and maybe I'll do a complaint first. So my double bogey was the first attempt of trying this podcast tonight. I was a good 45 minutes through doing this, and my light shut down and the light turned off, so I went to go and try to fix it, and it's like I probably could have gone back and edited that little pause out of there, but I'm not too confident with my skills with Adobe Premiere Pro and their software yet, so I decided to just restart. So I wasted basically 45 minutes of just kind of talking to myself in my apartment and just kind of hanging out. Now, at the end of the day, like I said, this isn't going to be perfect, so I'm just going to keep going. So when I do go and edit this later, I hope that I'm able to fix it and figure, well, since I restarted, it doesn't matter now, but when I get more comfortable, I would have probably just gone back and edited all that stuff out and deleted it and whatever, but for now, I just said whatever. You know, this ain't gonna be perfect. I'm just gonna keep going and pushing through, and we'll see what happens. You know, so that's kind of my double bogey. You know, but the hole-in-one out of all this, I'm doing it. I mean, this is like I'm doing this podcast thing. You know, this is episode 1. This is the hole-in-one, literally, no pun intended. I won't be able to do that next week because I can't do a hole-in-two, you know, but this is the big news for me this week. I'm looking, you know, I haven't had much going on this past week other than work and, you know, hanging around and doing whatever, but this is it. You know, I've actually finally gotten to all the equipment for the most part set up. This is some exciting news. I know it's a little silly. It's still, to me, a little silly to me just because it's like, no one's going to listen to me, no one cares what I have to say, no one this, no one that, but you know what, at the end of the day, I don't care what they can say, I'm just here to talk and enjoy my little learning skill of editing and video and audio and podcasting and, doing this, and, this is just a fun little thing to do, and I actually went through with something that I said I was going to do and wanted to do. A lot of times fear kicks in, and I say I want to do something and I don't do it just because I'm afraid, but I finally was able to kind of like get up and do something with this. And the reason being afraid was, because I expect this to be as big as like the New Heights podcast on with Jason and Travis Kelce. I in my head, I've got a million thoughts going through my head. It's like, well, what if no one listens? What if no one wants to follow? What if no one cares? At the end of the day, no one lives with me except for me, so I don't care if no one listens, I don't care if no one cares or whatever, this is mine, and no one can take that from me, and so I was like, I woke up one morning and said, screw it, I'm going to do this, and I'm looking forward to getting better, and maybe eventually I'll be able to have guests on, maybe like a Jason Kelce or Travis Kelce, and be able to chime in on with the New Heights guys or whatever it might be. Today it's not going to be a high quality production like a New Heights podcast or Joe Rogan or any of those guys, but at the end of the day, I can't be like them if I don't start from the bottom, so I mean, at the end of the day, no fear. I can't let fear keep holding me back from a lot of my dreams and hopes. And like I said, this isn't a thing that I expect to have millions of followers, overnight, but it is something that I've been wanting to do because I've been listening to podcasts for the last couple of years now, and it's just something exciting and new, and I'm looking forward to continue doing this once a week, every Monday night recording and every Tuesday night posting. So hopefully, someone's able to get something out of that to where they can kind of be a little inspired by like just live your life. I heard something the other day and it kind of made me think, and it was, I think, a quote from Abraham Lincoln. I think it said like, it's not the years in the life, it's the life in the years, I heard that and I thought to myself, it's like, it doesn't matter how many years you live, you can live to be 100 and sit on the couch for 100 years and your life was just pointless. I mean, from my point of view. But like, if you go out there and you live to 65 and you go out and live your dreams and do what you want to do and enjoy your life, and you die young but happy. I'd rather die young and happy than old and miserable, that's the way, when I heard that quote, it really made me think to myself, it's like, I need to do something, not that this is going to get big, but it's something I'm enjoy doing, at least so far, for about 2 weeks now or whatever, however long I've been trying to do this podcast. It's exciting, fun, a little frustrating at times, but trying to market myself has kind of been a cool little thing. I've made little business cards to myself, and I've made this hat, Golfin' 50, and at MEB Golf on the front, I've kind of told people I work with about it. I've mentioned it to people I know all over social media. Shoot, I've got a whole bunch of people that I have never met in my life already following me, and I haven't even done anything with this yet. So it's like, the sky's the limit with this thing, and this world's kind of come to a podcast, social media world nowadays. So I figured, let's just jump in, and I'm not going to jump in with my toes. I'm diving straight in, so let's just do this. So like I said, that is my hole in one. That's what I want to do. I'm going to do this every week. I'm going to continue moving forward in my life and do it. So that was kind of my take on the hole in one and double bogey thing. I don't want to really focus more as much on the double bogey just because it's not the most positive, but at the end of the day, I want to finish it off with a nice hole-in-one. Like I said, today's hole-in-one was no fear. Just getting over, talking to myself in my apartment and trying to be the New Heights podcast. I'm not going to do that today. I don't have the education or the smarts to even work a software like Adobe Premiere Pro or anything yet. I haven't figured all that out yet, and I'm not perfect. When those guys have professionals doing that, I'm sure if you ask Jason Kelsey and Travis Kelsey what software they're using for their podcast, they probably couldn't even tell you what it is, just because I'm not calling them dumb. Those guys are funny. They're great athletes. They're some of the funniest guys in the world, to me at least. But when it comes to behind the scenes stuff, that is probably not their strong suit. They're good with on camera, and they're funny, and they're educated at the game of football. That's their profession. That's what they're going to stick to. And well, I guess you can give the Kelsey brothers a little acting too. Shout out Travis, Killer Trav, and your new show, and Jason, of course, in your commercials with whatever it is. And of course, Jason and your Sunday Night Countdown. That's always fun to watch you on that. But they have they're great TV personalities, but I mean, that's not what I am today. And maybe hopefully one day I can be on one of those podcasts with the guys. So yes, I want to focus more on the hole-in-one as opposed to the double bogey. But there is kind of what episode 1's hole-in-one and double bogey will be. Obviously, I probably am going to be using a few little golf terminology things. You don't have to be a lover of golf or follower or a fan or be knowledgeable about the game of golf. But I probably will be using some golf terminology just to kind of have my own little spin on it, So if any followers or listeners or have any questions about what is a double bogey, I'm happy to respond, or and I know it's or a hole-in-one, but it's a hole-in-one, I'm happy to respond and answer any questions about anything that they ask, whether it's how did I get the idea to do this podcast. I'm happy to respond on either, like I said, MEB Golf on Instagram or Matthew __ Brennan on Instagram. So throw me a DM if you have any questions or whatever it is you want to ask. I'll be happy to give you a shout out sometimes if you have something good to say. News. I want to do some news every week. Last week probably would have been some Hurricane Milton, which wouldn't have been the most positive news. This week I am going to my news is going to be I get to meet baby Austin next Tuesday. I'll be flying back home to meet my younger brother Danny and sister-in-law Laurie. Had a baby. His name is Austin. I am so happy for the both of them. I know they will be great parents, and I'm hoping to be a great Tio as well. I'm hoping that we're able to spoil him, and I'm excited to see him grow up as a running and continue the name, I know mom and dad are happy to be grandparents, and I know they're gonna do their best to be, the best grandparents they could be, and I got, Joe and Ryan will be great Tios as well, so, and I guess you got to give Riley and as the best aunt, and hopefully she can be a good aunt to her little nephew Austin. She's a dog, by the way, for all the listeners that do not know who Riley is. She's the family Labrador. She can be a little pain in the butt herself, but she's a very cute little puppy. And then, of course, Mr. Kramer is going to be one of the best big brothers, and Mr. Kramer is my brother Danny's puppy. He gets to be the brother of baby Austin, and hopefully he can look over him and take care of him. So that's my big news of the week. I get to go finally, it's been like 3 weeks now since the baby has been born, but I'm excited to meet the new addition to the family. That'll be next week. I get to go meet him. So I am looking forward to that. That'll be kind of the big news of the week. So with that being said, here's my summer, I guess it's October right now. My golf tour goals. Hashtag golf tour goals. Now, one of the biggest goals I'd like to do, kind of to use this platform, podcast platform, and my Instagram platforms, is to kind of get invited or at least attend the Creator Classic, which is essentially a golf creator or even not just a content creator tournament or just a fundraiser that gets invited to play some golf with a bunch of other content creators. Like, I know Grant Horvat's played, and a bunch of those golf content creator guys. That would be a really cool thing to attend and see. They're always, I think the first annual one was last year, which I saw some clips and posts about it on Instagram and social media, and it seemed like one of the coolest events to be at. A lot of fun. I would like to break 90 finally. I know I've been playing for 15 years now and still haven't done it, but golf is one sport that humbles the crap out of you. So doesn't matter how good you are, you still are going to be topping balls. You're still going to be slicing them. You're still going to be hitting them in the water. You're still going to be hitting them in the bunker. You're still going to be chunking grass, and you're still going to be four putting. It's one game that I don't care. Guys, the professionals do it. Maybe not as much as I do, but I'm not your professional golfer here. I do like to go out there and have fun, but I have normally would shoot in the 90s, so it'd be like a goal of mine to at least hit in the 80s sometime. The reason I play golf is just to, like I said, humble myself, and it's one of those like really tough things to do, because you can hit one shot off the tee, your first shot of the day, that goes 280, 300 yards down the middle of the fairway, and the next shot you're hitting the ball 4 feet to the right. It's one of the most frustrating, loving games you'll ever play. That is kind of one of the main, what I continue obviously playing, is to break 80 or break 90 and then go from there. I've yet to hit an eagle. I'd like to hit an eagle within my next 6 months. That's a goal. Like to shoot a hole-in-one one of these days. Obviously everyone wants to do that. Hole-in-ones are always tough to come by. Professionals have gone through their whole lives and not hit one. It does have a lot to do with, I'm sure, a little luck, at least if I'm the one hitting it. A lot of luck, all luck for that matter. Every time I need to learn how to hit irons off the tee box. I do not like to do it because I think I can drive the green on par fives, and I just do not want to do it. And when there is a huge dog leg right or left or whatever it might be, I still think, driver's the club here, I'm going over the trees, but I need to learn to stop being stubborn and play it smart, play it safe, as opposed to playing aggressive. I might be one of the most aggressive golfers you'll ever see. When I'm sitting there watching every weekend these guys on professional tour hit pitching wedges off of tee boxes on par fives just so they can get a better lie on their next shot, and it's like, why are they doing that? DeChambeau, you can hit the ball 400 yards, hit the ball over the trees, and it's like, I question it, but at the end of the day, they're the ones getting paid millions of dollars to play a game, play one of my favorite games, and so I just need to stop being stubborn and learn and try to play smart. But so I'm going to work on that on my next, on my tour of playing the United States. Golf trips now. So in March, my plan is to go to North Carolina and play Pinehurst. And we all know Pinehurst is one of the best courses in the United States, and one of the toughest tracks you'll get to play in. Greens are like bowls, so when the ball gets on the green, it's more than likely gonna roll right off unless you hit it perfect. I have watched U.S. Opens there on TV. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to make it out there, but watching these professionals try to hit the greens and get so frustrated with the greens, how hard they are, how tough it is to play there, how they're not shooting 15 under every round. It's fun to watch professionals get frustrated. And all you can do is clap for them, because it's one of the tougher courses. So I would like to make maybe a 3-4 day trip up to Pinehurst. It will be a little pricey, I'm sure, but at the end of the day, it's one of the dream bucket list courses here in the United States I'd like to play. I've got 2 ideas for my summer golf trip of 2025. And I might try to either go up to Seattle and drive down to Chambers Bay and play in Chambers Bay up in Washington. Catch a Mariners game while I'm up there, and then head down to Oregon and play over in either Portland or Bend, or one of the cities over there. Might even make it down to Eugene and try to play there at the University of Oregon campus. But we'll see. That's one of my summer golf trip ideas. Another one might be Torrey Pines down in San Diego. I'd like to play at Torrey Pines in the summer, and with that trip. Again, that might be a little pricey to play, but it would be a fun one to check out. All the courses I think are going to be a little on the higher end unless I'm playing in one of the Midwestern states that aren't really golf, centered PGA courses, live courses. But I am going to try to hit up all the popular main TPC round courses though. But like I said, I'm going to try to revolve these trips around a baseball game because I'm a huge baseball fan. So with that being said, I'm going to try to go maybe in the summer and play at Torrey Pines down in San Diego, catch a Padres game, and head up just because San Diego Padres are one of the stadiums I haven't been to, and then head up to Los Angeles and catch an Angels and a Dodgers game. So it'd be kind of a baseball golf trip, 3 baseball games, 3 rounds of golf, and back to Miami. That would be, I think that now that I'm talking about it, that's probably what I'll end up rocking. I'll probably do the San Diego, 3 rounds of golf, probably play 1 down in San Diego at Torrey Pines, 2 up in Los Angeles, 2 baseball games in Los Angeles, Anaheim, Angels, and the Dodgers. So now that I'm thinking about it, that's probably where I'm going to start planning that later this week. Let's see. So with this whole MEB golf account that I have on Instagram, I'm going to try and post reviews on the course. And like I said, I'm not any kind of golf review course professional, but I'm going to give you guys my take on the course. On the greens, on the fairways, the bunkers, probably won't go into detail on each hole, but how tough it is to hit out of the rough, because I know I'm going to be hitting into the rough. I know I'm going to be hitting it in the bunkers, in the water, and how fast the greens are or slow the greens are, and pending weather, of course, that differentiates how each course will play, but. So I do want to kind of give a review or you guys my take on each course. Obviously they're probably going to be in better condition than one of the courses that I'm used to playing, just because they are the top of the state courses in the country. But I do want to give my take on each course. I also want to give you a take on the clubhouses, and I'm going to be going to each course and getting a logo golf ball, a hat, probably a golf shirt, so I'm going to bring home some memories from each course as well. So that's kind of my goal with the golf podcast, or the golf MEB golf on Instagram. I'm going to be posting all that content. Hopefully I can get better at learning how to take pictures and angles and different views and lighting and all that kind of stuff. I'm not a professional photographer yet, so we're still kind of working on that. This week is going to be a lot tougher than podcast episode 100, which is 100 weeks from now. But everything's going to get better and better each day, so no fear. With that being said, we'll move on from golf, because that's kind of my golf little take on here. Podcast review. The reason I'm doing this, well, not the only reason, but like I like the whole idea of the podcast. I like that you're getting yourself a take on what radio and social media could be. I've followed a few podcasts in the last, I don't know, year, I'll say, and gotten really enjoyed all of them, that I followed for the most part. And obviously Barstool and Dave Portnoy has put out so many just instant classic podcasts, like the Foreplay Pod, and that they are a bunch of golfers that have just kind of made me laugh over the past year. The Son of a Boy Dad, that those guys are just ridiculously funny. Portnoy's pizza reviews have just kind of skyrocketed. It's crazy how quickly, something can just get so big so quickly. You look at all these other social media influencers and like the Hawk Tua. What in the world is Hawk Tua getting famous for? Why does she have her own podcast? Why is she throwing the first pitch out at the Mets game? Like, the girl got recorded and said Hawk Tua, and the thing blew up. Now, I get it. It is kind of funny for about a week. How long is her fame gonna last? I don't know. Hopefully forever. Good for her. She said one thing, got a little famous for it, and going strong. I hope for the best. But something like that just kind of makes me think, like, not that I'm not gonna say Hawk Tua. That's a little ridiculous because I laughed, and every time I'm scrolling through TikTok or Instagram, I still continue to like, why is this so funny? Why, or I'm going to get off her little Hawk Tua topic and go to my boys up at the chicken bake and the double chocolate cookie, the Costco guys, Big Justice and AJ. Those guys, man, blew up the social media. I can't scroll on TikTok or Instagram without seeing the boom. And it's so funny because then all of a sudden, 3 weeks later, they're shooting hoops at Madison Square Garden with the Knicks and at a celebrity game with it's so amazing that these guys went from eating a chicken bake and a double chocolate cookie at Costco in Boca Raton, Florida, to being dugout seats at Yankee Stadium playing basketball with the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, to hanging out with the Boca Beach Boys down in Boca Raton, and because they were giving boom or doom reviews, and I can't stop watching their content. Of course, they've added Jersey Joe. Shout out to Jersey Joe and his dancer and moves. They've added obviously the whole family in there with the Mama Justice and Ashley Justice, the sister of Big Justice, and then of course the Rizzler. It is just funny how today's society, and myself included, get hooked on things like that. And it's, I know I talked to my mother, and she had heard of the Costco guys, and she is not the most tech savvy person in the world, but she can get hooked a little bit on some of those things. And she's like, yeah, I've heard the Costco. I said, how in the world does someone from St. Louis, Missouri, heard of these guys from Boca Raton talking about eating a chicken bacon double chocolate cookie? And then I see Quinn Ewers, quarterback for University of Texas, Heisman running quarterback, doing the Big Justice dance, the whatever, not Big Justice, but the little, that's what you say, whatever the dance is, as he scores a touchdown in the Red River rivalry, like one of the biggest rivalries in college football. You got Quinn Ewers, Heisman running winner, scoring a touchdown and doing the big Big Justice dance. It's like when you've got Heisman winners, you've got playing basketball with the Knicks, to now Big Justice is now wrestling here at some local bar down in here, Doral, And I'm sitting here kind of promoting the guy right now because I've gotten hooked on his stuff. It's so stupid, but it's so funny. It's just like when I was into wrestling as a little kid. I hated Stone Cold Steve Austin, but why did I keep watching him? Because I wanted to see that one time that he got beat up. And he never did for the longest time until Dwayne the Rock Johnson came into play and whatever. It's like you got your heel and your whatever, I can't even think of it right now, but everyone loved the heel, but these guys get famous for eating a chicken bake and a double chocolate cookie, and it's just exploded. It's amazing what social media can do. But another little podcast that I've kind of fallen in love with is these guys from Breadbasket. These two kids from Colorado, brothers. Moved to California, started their own podcast. They're basketball junkies. They are Denver Nuggets all day. They love themselves the Joker. They don't really care for they're big bandwagons when it comes to their other sports, but they live and die for the Nuggets. And they're kind of Laker fans too because they live out in California, not LA area, Santa Monica. But their chemistry between the two of them is just so much fun to listen to. They have this thing with like Toad from Mario, that they always go back at him. Their listeners will direct message them and comment and say like, hey, I saw Toad's just like a sweet little innocent mushroom or whatever the heck he is, and Mario loves him, and Peach, and it's funny to see like how like they dog Toad because Toad's on drugs. Toad can't get off the mushrooms. Toad can't get off the hallucinogenics, and he's going wild. And they sent Toad to rehab, and it's all these fun little quirks that these guys do. But the chemistry, the back and forth with them is just it's too fun. But again, they like kind of have a focus on sports too, where they're always posting content on like them playing soccer and basketball and. A lot of little fun little things that those guys do. They're pretty comical. Big Drake fans though. Shout out to Drake. But then you got like the makeshift guys up there in Jersey. They were able to at least give me a response on about podcasting. Just a little bit of what kind of softwares and maybe equipment that you might need, and so shout out to you guys. Thank you for all the help. This is episode 1. Hope you could somehow listen, and eventually maybe we'll get a little back and forth. Maybe I'll head up to Jersey and play some golf with you guys up there. That would be cool. And that's kind of what I want to do with this podcast is get other people, a whole community of golfers and network, and try to get people just kind of golfing from one state to another. If I'm ever in Jersey, or if you're ever down here in Miami, let's link up. I'll get you on a couple of courses, and we'll get out there and play. I know one of you guys are Dolphins fans. We'll catch a game, Dolphins game, and we'll go out and play golf. So these podcasts kind of got me hooked, in the social media little reels, and like I said, the Costco guys, the Rizzler, the Breadbasket, the New Heights, of course, the makeshift guys, anything Barstool was just. I mean, this Barstool has just torn up the social media podcast world. And I know Barstool had a podcast, and I know this is the most ridiculous one that I follow, but it's these two girls from, I guess they're not from New York, but they lived in New York and worked at HQ and with Barstool in New York for a while. But I think Portnoy dropped them off the Barstool team, but they continued making podcasts with the two of them. It was like the Mean Girl Pod, and it's like following these two girls' lives around and how their relationships, and I don't know why, but I listen to it every night they post, which I believe Sunday night, Tuesday night, Monday night. I don't know exactly what night, but when it pops up on Apple Podcasts, I listen to it, and I don't know why. So two girls, 20-something-year-old girls' lives. One just had a baby, and I'm just like following to see how the baby's doing now, and I'm like, I don't know why I keep listening to this, but it's entertaining. It's like watching movies and TV shows and stuff, but. So that's kind of why I'm doing the podcast. Let's just keep going and moving on and see what else I can, talk about. So Um, Sports, obviously, big focus. I am going to do a little sports parlay every week. Um, I want to, like I said, I want to do a little bit of sports on here. It's not going to be all about it. So if you're not a sports fan, again, you don't have to worry about it. But I am going to be continue doing the sports thing. It is going to, like I said, I want to do a parlay every week. So for listeners and followers, I'm going to be doing this week. I'm going to do a parlay for myself. So I'm going to pick a 3-game parlay. I'm going to put money on it. Hopefully, obviously cash out and win. But if it doesn't win, whatever, no big deal, But for anyone listening tonight and does want to throw me a parlay for Sunday football, we've got some Major League Baseball. We've got NHL hockey back in season. NBA starts soon. If you want to throw me a 3 to 5 game parlay, I'm going to dish out some merch. I'm going to be either sending you a hat or a shirt, some type of merchandise eventually. And I'll give you a shout out on the pod, of course, as well. So each week I am going to take one listener or followers parlay. I'm going to throw it on there, and hopefully we can cash out and you get some merch or whatever. So this week, what I'm going to do, my parlay I'm going to use this week is going to be, I'm going to focus on Sunday football. We're going to do this week Sunday. Let's go check out and see what I want to do here. Where are we at here? NFL. Let's do Chiefs, Rams, and Commanders to win. No, I don't like that. All right, let's do it. Let's focus on the Denver-New Orleans game. Let's do Spencer Rattler. No. Let's do a 5-game parlay. Let's make it happen. We're gonna do Lions to win. We're gonna do Bengals to win, Eagles to win, Colts to win, Packers to win. So I'm going to bet some money on that. Hopefully that can hit, and we will go keep everyone up to date. It's as easy as that. All you got to do is do a little direct message on either Instagram at MEB Golf or Matthew__Brennan on Instagram, or you can comment on the YouTube. And I will give you a shout out on Instagram. And like I said, if the parlay pulls through, I'll send you some merch, and we'll go on from there. Whether it's a hat or a shirt. And then, of course, if your parlay hits, we are going to let you continue another parlay, and there will be more revealed to come, more prizes. So that's my parlay of the week. We are going. We'll talk a little TV and movies. This week I just started the season 4 first episode. First I watched the first 4 episodes, so I'm not gonna spoil or anything if I have any listeners of the show. But I'm an Outer Banks guy. I got hooked on season 1 during COVID and haven't stopped watching it since. Kiara and the Kiara and JJ combination with Sarah and John B and Pope and Cleo now. It's like, so the season basically, they found the Royal Merchant gold. Season 4 starts off with them being like heroes in the Outer Banks, no BX. The Pogues are heroes. The Kooks are still living their life, and their rich little fancy life and then you got the Pogues living in the cut, but they got a little bit of money now because they found the Royal Merchant in season 3, and now season 4 starts off with some random guy coming up to the Pogues and saying, "Hey, I got more treasure. You want?" But somehow the Pogues lost all their money, and now they're like, "Well, now we need money," so they go on another little treasure hunt to find Blackbeard's crown. And I haven't watched all the season yet. It's getting lit. I like it still, because I love the character, the chemistry between all the characters, and the little love story that they got going on with Pope and Cleo, Sarah and Cameron, and John B. and then JJ and Kiara, but it is getting a little cheesy, the Pokes versus the Kooks and the fights, and it's all the same, but at the end of the day, I'm still gonna watch it. It's still fun, so I'm not gonna ruin it for anybody, but hopefully everyone can watch it, and I'm gonna finish probably episode 5 later tonight, probably. We do got the documentary on Mr. McMahon too that I finished. That was awesome. That was a good one. So that was worth a watch. And I know Starting 5 just came out on Netflix too. The documentary following LeBron, Anthony Edwards, who else? Jimmy Butler, and Sabonis, and someone else. I'm missing one, but that looks really good. I want to watch that. I've heard the Penguin's really good. That's one I would like to continue watching. I watched the first episode. Really, really good little spin-off on the Penguin villain from Batman. It's not really a Batman Gotham kind of thing. It's almost like a gangster mobster kind of movie or TV show on Max. That's one I would recommend. I think that's going to be the new show, the new big one. The one that everyone kind of talks about. I am in the hospitality business. There are some pros and cons in it. Hours are easy. But the money's fine. Great. But there are some cons, of course. It's not exactly where I want to be in life. And I want to, do more. I feel, I feel like I do a pretty good job at what I do now, but I want to keep moving forward, and I know this podcast is here as a platform to kind of continue motivate me to be a better version of myself, and I do take it out on myself sometimes, and try to play the whole poor me, and and that's kind of not what I'm doing right here right now, but I'm here, and I'm where I'm at in life, and want to keep improving it, and that's kind of what this podcast and my Instagram and my little golf tour of the United States is for. Keep going, man. Just I listen to. I don't listen to motivational speeches. I kind of do. I can't lie. It's another one of those little Instagram things, and I did quote out Abe Lincoln about, living the lives of years or whatever I said earlier. But, it is something that I think people need to hear sometimes. You need to get knocked down and beat up. And let me tell you, I've gotten the hell kicked out of me back, and I've gotten back up, and I've improved myself. I've returned to a better person today. I do truly care about people, and I get so frustrated sometimes when people take advantage of it, and it hurts me, it puts me down, and I try not to let it bother me, but so I am going to kind of use this platform as a kind of a way to vent, and I might expose, I might be a little vulnerable, I guess, sometimes, I listen to Theo Vaughn's podcast, and it's just I love Theo Vaughn. He's so funny, but he's very true to himself. He wants to help people, he's in recovery, which, I can, really relate to with him about, he's a tough cookie, man. He's had a tough upbringing, but he's bounced back, and he's become a better person today. I'm sure he's been through a lot of tough times, and continues to move forward in his life, and seeing people that have done that is a very motivating, inspirational kind of thing. I listened to Theo and Post Malone, and Posty kind of sat there with him not live, but on the podcast, and said, "Hey, bro, you can't be like this. You are one of the most strongest people I've ever met. Trying to keep him up, and all Theo can do is sit there and say, you know what, you're right, and that's kind of what I need to hear sometimes, and it's tough. I wish I could hear that sometimes from people, and I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to play victim here, but to keep people motivated, you got to kind of show them you care, and I know for a fact, like I've been in people's positions at my, I've been in a lot more, I've been in people's shoes before, and try to help out people on the daily. But, when that, I have a hard time being grateful to people who are not being grateful, and at the end of the day, I just need to keep being grateful to people. I need to keep trying to stay positive about what's going on in my life and keep moving forward with it. But it's sometimes I lose it, I can't be grateful for people who are grateful sometimes. And, I'm not perfect, that, and nobody's perfect, but like when I don't even know what I'm trying to say here, but like, it's hard for me to accept that I can't change the things that I can, but the courage to change the things that I can, I just want to change. Sometimes I just want to change things, but I just can't sometimes. And it's like, I can only control what I'm doing right now. And if people want to be ungrateful, let them, that's in the story. I have helped, I have offered, and I have paid and tried to do anything for certain people. And if they want to be ungrateful, all I got to do is just let them, I guess, and that is just, it's tough in the hospitality industry because these people, I'm not perfect, and neither are they, and I know that, but like, and I just need to step in their shoes and see where they, and let them do them, and but like I said, there's a lot of pros in it too. I get to meet a lot of great people in the industry. It's a very low stress job. The hours are short, money's great. I'm doing okay, financially, but like, there are also a lot of people there who just like think they have power over you and then try to control you, and that's the tough part. I feel like I don't have a voice in the industry. There's no one that like I give a suggestion and everyone says yeah whatever. It's just, I don't have any voice or opinion. My opinion doesn't matter, and it's not just how I feel, it's about how everyone feels, in the industry. So not everyone, I can't speak for everyone, but a lot of people feel that way. It's like, why do I even try to suggest something if I don't get an answer back, or but I'm not trying to, like I said, I'm gonna try to stay away from all the lovey-dovey, touchy-feely kind of things, but but we do have a little bit of extra time. Like I said, I do want to make about 45 minutes to an hour, so I'm at the 48-minute mark. The goal with this, each episode, I've gone over a little few things I wanted to talk about today. Got the parlay. I gave a little review on the TV show. I talked about a couple other podcasts and how some of these people have become famous, and not that that's what I want to do or anything. I've gone over a little of the golf tour. I've gone over some news. Talked about little baby Austin. I did my double bogey and my hole-in-one of the week. Quoted a little bit of Abe Lincoln, shout out to Honest Abe. But for future episodes, like I said, I'm going to kind of do a little bit of all that. Now, we are getting near the end of the episode, so with that being said, I hope you all get something out of the podcast and can listen in and continue following my journey with the podcast and the golf tour of the United States. If anyone would like to suggest anything, or would like to be a guest on MEB Pod, or if they don't want to be in front of the camera, or they can be more, I'd be more than happy to have them help with the editing and audio and video part. If they want to work some behind the camera stuff, or like I said, have any suggestions on maybe some equipment, some receivers, some microphones, some better ways to handle this, I'm all open. My ears are open for that, because like I said, I only want to get better at this, and I can't do it alone. That's one thing I've learned in life, and the most important thing in life that I've learned is that I can't do this alone, and I need help with everything. Podcast, sports, work, hospitality industry, sports betting. I'm asking. I just need help. So that is one thing that I have a hard time doing, is asking for help. And this podcast, I'm gonna need some help with it. I'm gonna need assistance. I'm gonna need, not assistance, but like assistance helping me with the video and audio content. I would like to, like I said, bring on guests to the podcast, so I can get a little back and forth, and I'm not talking to myself for an hour. This was tough. I'm scared. This is like one of the harder things in the world to do for me, is to talk. I know I'm not public. I'm in my own privacy in my own apartment right now, but I would like to have a little back and forth with some guests. I don't care who, if they're a professional athlete, if they're a professional garbage man, if they're a professional electrician, plumber, hotelier, bartender, server, busser. I don't care what your profession is. If you don't even have to have a career. Eventually I'd like to maybe interview one of these golf content creators themselves, or like I said, let's get one of these makeshift guys, or the Boca Beach Boys and Big Justice and Big AJ on there, or let me get one of them bread baskets, get one of them sticks. I'll just get one of the sticks, not even the bread stick basket guys. Give me a stick, I don't care. I'll just interview whoever. I'll talk to myself. Like I said, I've talked to myself for the last 51 minutes. I'll be happy to, cut that in half and do only 30 minutes of myself, and what I plan to do if I do ever have a guest, is to kind of just interview them, get their takes. Obviously with the parlay, I'm gonna have them give me a parlay. Or we'll get a view. If I have a guest, I'll get a parlay from them, and then I'll have a guest parlay, or a DM parlay guy. So I'll have to do two parlays if I get a guest. Woo, getting big now, eh? So we'll talk a little bit about, I'll give the guest an opportunity to do a hole in one and a double bogey. I'll give the guest an opportunity to talk about what they enjoy doing. I talked about my golf journey, and what I plan on doing in my future and would like to do, and kind of whatever the current events are going on, we'll kind of go back and forth with whatever's going on. Now, I'm not going to try to get too political, but I'm sure we'll get some politics going on here in the next couple of weeks, just because that is the big news. We got Trump and Kamala. I might even have a little special guest potentially with the Trump and Kamala race in a couple of weeks. I don't know. We'll see. If you know, you know. So with that being said, no fear. # no fear. Well, thank you again for listening. Hope you all got something out of that, and I am out. Have a good night.